Like, you just have to be strong. And believe me, if you're going through the dark night of the soul, or if you're going through like a very dark point in your life right now, you wouldn't be going through that if you couldn't handle it. You would not be going through it if you couldn't handle it. Okay, y'all, so I'm sitting outside. The sun is about to start setting in like the next hour or so. So I went ahead and came outside so I could try to sun gaze or whatever. Hopefully y'all can hear me because sometimes my speaker be acting real jank. Um, but yeah, I made a video yesterday about sun gazing and stuff like that. I'm gonna upload that video. Also, it's not really that long. But anyway, so I just wanted to make a new video and talk to y'all about my spiritual awakening process. I really feel like the process started like 2 years ago. Like, well, honestly, my entire life has been a fucking process leading up to my spiritual awakening. But I really feel like everything started to unfold and come together around 2 years ago, 2017. It is currently what, like July 9th, I think, 2018, or July 8th or something like that. I don't know why I keep, okay, anyways. Yeah, I really feel like the process of me waking up started about 2 years ago. And I didn't know I was going through, I didn't know. I didn't know, I didn't understand. I just thought that my life was just going through a whole bunch of bullshit at the time. And yeah, I just really didn't understand the process. And I was really in a place of being angry, being hurt, sad. Like, I was feeling a lot of different type of emotions, which really didn't start until like the end of 2017. Yeah, like the end of 2017. A little bit in 2017, but not really. 2017 was pretty much an okay year, but the end of 2017 and all of 2018 has all led me to my spiritual awakening. Now, okay, first of all, let me address this bullshit. It's so much grass. It's so many trash cans. It's so many fucking animals. It's so much dog shit out in the fields. But still, the flies want to come bother me. Y'all want to come fucking bother me when there's so much space out here. Like, that shit just irritating. Like, the flies got all this room and all this shit to go land on and bother, but they want to come bother you. I'm not even in the grass. I'm sitting on concrete, and you want to come fly and buzz up in my personal space. Okay, but anyways, yeah, so yeah, really 2018 and the beginning of this year was like the roughest times of my spiritual awakening. I didn't realize, or I didn't actually have the spiritual awakening until February or March of 2019. So just the beginning of this year is when I understood and realized so much. Is when I realized that I actually was having a spiritual awakening. Okay, so let me just start from 2 years ago. So, well, actually, let me go a year before that. Let me go to 2016. So, the beginning of 2016, January of 2016, is when my mom passed away. Now, that's a whole nother story within itself, and we'll get to that one day, about like my mom and parent situation and stuff like that. But the beginning of 2016 is when my mom passed away, and I was the one. It's just me and my sister. My mom only had 2 kids, and it's just me and my sister. So I'm the oldest, and I really had the responsibility of planning my mom's funeral. If you've never planned a funeral for a parent, it was tough, but I'm a very strong-minded person. Like, I'm very resilient, and I'm very, very strong-minded, and I'm so blessed to have the mind that I have, because y'all, anybody in my shoes would have committed suicide. But we're gonna get to that. Um, so yeah, I had to plan my mom's funeral and stuff like that, and we had her funeral in Chicago. I was still in college here in Tennessee, and so I had to take like a 2 week break from school to plan her funeral. On top of that, I got sick, like really really sick. I was in a hospital, um, and then right after her funeral, my dad got sick and he was in the hospital, and it was just a lot going on. So after that whole like month period, after that whole like month, all of that happened over like a course of a month. So after that, after we came back from Chicago from the funeral and everything like that, my dad got out the hospital. I was feeling better. um, I really didn't take the I really didn't take the time to grieve. um, I was still very much so in denial pretty much all of 2016, and about half of 2017. I feel like I was still just like in denial. Like it's still like I knew that she was gone and that she wasn't here, but it just didn't seem like it was real. For a very long time, it did not seem like it was real at all. And plus, I'm used to going like long periods of time without talking to my mom. Like I said, that's another story, but it just didn't seem real for me for a very long time. And at the time, I had friends in college, and so I really didn't take the time out to grieve. After her funeral, I came back to college, was back partying, hanging out with friends, and all this type of stuff. So, um, yeah, I was pretty much just living in denial. I was just ignoring the fact that she was gone. I was doing anything and everything that I could to not think about it, and I wasn't really spending time to myself. So, um, 2016, I'm really just like lost. Just chilling, hanging out with friends, like I'm just being a regular college person. Okay, and then 2017 comes, and is it's spring break of 2017. I go to Miami with a few friends and stuff like that, and I don't know, like everything just started to transpire after I came back from spring break of 2017. So everything was cool at first. I had just stopped talking to this dude. That's another story. I had just stopped talking to this dude about a month or two, and so I was going 2 months single, not talking to anybody, and then I met the guy that I'm currently with now. We met, and like y'all, it's so much. Like this video is actually going to be longer than I expected, because I just realized like there's a lot of details that I have to get into for y'all to fully understand the story. So yeah, I met this guy. I met my boyfriend that I'm with now, around the end of March, beginning of April, and also during that time, I had I was still working like really hard, and yeah, I was still working and stuff like that. It was coming to be the end of the semester, so school was about to be out, and I was just literally just going to school, going to work, going home, and just on that pattern. I wasn't thinking about hanging out. I wasn't thinking about chilling, like spending time with people. Like I just wasn't. I was just like I was in a zone of working, getting money, going home, working, getting money, going home. And so every night when I got off of work, my boyfriend would come and see me and stuff like that. And I never really had friends to come over my house and just chill with me, just hang out with me, just to like spend time and be around me or be in my presence. Anytime I hung out with any of my friends, it was always me going to them, or us going out to a party, or going out to eat or something like that. There was never anybody coming and spending time with me. So the fact that, hold on, I don't know, I just feel like it just got really quiet over here because that machine thing stopped. So let me just walk around. But yeah, so the fact that my boyfriend was coming over every night when he got off of work, like, was cool. Like, It was real cool. I got to chill in the house, sit in the house, you know. I didn't really have to do too much. And he was cool with just sitting in the house. That's not a cute look with the trash cans in the background. And so we was just like, we're very chill people together. So to have somebody to come over that only just wants to sit in the house and just chill with me instead of me going and chilling at somebody else's house was cool. Um, and I guess like my friends, hold on y'all, it is really fucking hot. Like, bitch, like, can we get a happy medium? Like, fuck, hold on. Okay, so like I was saying, so yeah, towards the end of the semester, I was really just spending a lot of time um, either at work, at home by myself, or my boyfriend was coming over to see me. So come May 2017 um, is when I stopped working. I wouldn't really say I got fired because he just told me that he didn't have enough hours for everyone. So yeah. So I stopped working May 2017, and at that time, my lease was about to be up in the next 2 months, and my car note was due. Um, a lot of financial responsibilities were popping up and stuff like that. And I'm a very independent person. I don't ask people for help. I could be in the worst position of my life, and I will not ask anyone for help. I will not even let you know that I'm even going through anything. Um, yeah, so it comes like June of 2017. My cousin actually ends up paying my rent for that month. And the next month, I still had to figure out how I was going to pay that and how I was going to pay my car note and stuff like that. And I was talking to one of my ex friends, and everything I was saying to her like was basically going in one ear and after the other, because all she was concerned about was if I was going to change my mind about going to the club with them that weekend. And I'm sitting here telling her all my problems, stuff like that. And the only thing, my phone was my phone was about to be turned off. My Sprint bill was like $800. That's another story as to why that was so much. But yeah, it was just a whole bunch of responsibilities and a bunch of stuff popping up that had like more of my attention. I had more priorities than the friends that I was hanging out with at the time. We wasn't really coming from the same place. Me explaining to her what I was dealing with, what I was going through, looking back on it, like now I see why I was going in one ear and out the other with her, because we live two different lives. We're two different types of people. I'm a very independent person, and she's a very dependent person. I'm not speaking about her now because I don't know anything going on with her, but at the time I was independent and she was dependent, so she didn't understand everything that I was saying to her. So yeah, so that happened. My phone ended up getting turned off by the end of June, towards the beginning of, no, it was the end of June, because my phone was off the entire month of July. And yeah, my phone was off the entire month of July. And at the time, my boyfriend was also looking for a place to stay, and my lease was about to be up. So we ended up just moving away from my college town and getting, like, an actual apartment where we don't have roommates and stuff like that. It's just me and him. Um, and like I said, my phone was off, so I wasn't really talking to my friends, not by choice, more like by force. And looking back, it was nothing but God making that decision for me. I feel like the universe was showing me. Basically, the universe was showing me what was important and what wasn't important, and having friends is not what's important. This process of losing friends was just pulling me out the matrix. The universe was just showing me what I needed to see, and at the time I didn't understand it, and I was still trying. Um, no, I was still trying to make sense of it. I wasn't talking to my friends and stuff like that by force because I didn't have a phone or nothing like that. And then when I did get a phone, it didn't last that long. So I didn't want to be that inconsistent friend going in and out of people's lives. It's like, let me get my shit together over here. Let me deal with what I gotta deal with, get my life in order, and then when I'm ready to come back and hit y'all up, like, we'll go from there. But that didn't happen how I expected it to happen. Once I started getting my shit back together, I ended up getting my phone back and stuff like that. I called one of my friends, and it was just like I could feel the whole vibe. I'm an empath, I'm a Scorpio, so I feel everything. I feel what the other person is feeling. I feel the vibe stronger than anything. So what you're saying, how she was talking and the energy she was giving off, like, I could just tell that it wasn't genuine. um so yeah, a couple more months go by. I still try, whatever. We're not gonna get into the whole friend losing friend situation. I'll make a whole another separate video about that. um so yeah, so the rest of 2017 goes by, and now it's 2018. At this point, now I don't have any friends. My mom passed away. um yeah, so at this point I'm really alone. Besides my boyfriend being with me and us living together, like, I really just feel like I didn't have nobody, honestly, truly. And at one point I kind of felt like I didn't have him. I don't know why I was feeling like that. um I don't know. Dark night of the soul is like a real thing. But yeah, so it's 2018. Everything's cool all the way up until like May. Again, everything always happens in May for some reason. Um, so yeah, come May, I graduate college, and we leave and we move across country to California. Um, yeah, we originally were supposed to drive his car to California because he had a four-door car, and we had a lot of stuff packed up in the car. We emptied our apartment, got rid of our apartment, um, got rid of our bed, our dresser, our couch. Like, we got rid of everything. The only thing we had was like two laundry baskets full of clothes, our two puppies, computers, and that was pretty much it. And our phones and ourselves. That's pretty much all we had. And so before we could even make it out of the state of Tennessee, I live in Tennessee. Before we could even make it out of the state of Tennessee, we get into a car wreck and we total his car, and we damn near fly off a cliff, y'all. Like, that was the most like traumatic. That was one of the scariest things, y'all. I ain't never been in a car wreck. Um, if I have, it was just like a little fender bender. Somebody hit me from the back, shit like that. I ain't never been in like an actual car wreck to where we totaled the car and damn near lost our lives. So like, even to this day, like, being in the car, like, I get very anxious and nervous, and like I tense up sometimes when there's other cars beside us and stuff like that. My muscles tense up. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just kind of like scarred from that whole car accident. But anyways, so we get into a car wreck, we total his car. By the grace of God, there's this lady there. She saw the entire thing. So she gets out her car, she comes talk to us and helps us and stuff like that. She actually ended up taking our two puppies and driving them like 45 minutes back to where we stayed. She dropped our dogs off at my boyfriend's grandma's house and stuff like that. She called them. Like, she was just being very helpful. And she gave us her number and stuff, and she was like, if we need her to be a witness to the car wreck, or if we need to talk to her about anything, like, she was just very helpful. She provided us with a lot of information and stuff, and like, it was nothing but God that had her there at the exact same time that we was there. Because if she wasn't there, I don't know how our puppies were going to get back. Like, I don't know how the situation would have turned out if that lady wasn't there. So we ended up being in the hospital the rest of that night, and his mom and grandma comes to get us, and we go back to her house because, like I said, we had just got rid of our apartment. Like, we literally had just took the rest of our luggage rid of our apartment. Like, we turned in the keys and everything that exact same day. I graduated, we dumped everything out of the apartment, turned in the keys to our apartment, and was leaving to go to Cali all in one day. Like, all of this happened in one day. And so we got in a car wreck. We ended up standing out at his mom's house that night. And the very next night, we got in my car, since we totaled his. We got in my car and we drove to Cali. We drove straight to Cali, like nonstop. We took turns. I would drive like 8 hours. He would drive 8 hours. So we got there in about like 29 hours. Um, yeah, it took us about a day, a little bit over a day for us to get to Cali. So we're in Cali. We had this whole plan, like we're finna work, we're gonna get jobs down here. But the car wreck the day before, or the car wreck from 2 or 3 days previous, like just threw off everything. It threw off our whole plan. It threw off like our thinking process. Like we just weren't right in the mind. And I don't know why we still chose to get up the very next day after we just totaled his car. I don't know why we still chose to just up and leave and go to Cali like that, because he had got a concussion. His eye was swollen. He had like a gash across his eyebrow and stuff like that. He was very sensitive to light, so he couldn't drive during the daytime. I had to drive during the daytime. Like, y'all, we was just pushing it. We weren't in our right state of mind. We was just pushing it. We just wanted to go to Cali. We just wanted to get out of Tennessee. Like, we just wanted to leave, like, you know, in the beginning. And it didn't go how we expected it. That car wreck just threw everything off. Like, we got to Cali. We had interviews and stuff, but we also had doctor's appointments because of the car wreck. So he was going back and forth to see an eye doctor. I was going back and forth to see a chiropractor. And then we would have interviews those same days. And, like, things just wasn't working out the way that we wanted them to work out, the way that we planned them to work out. So we ended up staying in and out of hotels, sleeping in a car in Cali, going like a week at a time, 2 weeks without showering. Like, y'all, I'm just gonna be like real honest with y'all. I'm just gonna be straight up with y'all. Like, we went like 2 weeks without showering at one point. We slept in the car for at least a month or two straight. We was in and out of hotels. Sometimes we would get a hotel for a week. Sometimes we would only get a hotel for a day, just to like clean up and stuff like that. We was barely eating. We was eating like chips for breakfast and water and Gatorade. And at the end of the night, one of the parking lots we were sleeping in, it was actually a street taco guy. He would come out and set up every day at like 6 o'clock. So in the morning we would wake up, go inside of Ralph's, because that's the parking lot we were sleeping in. We would wake up, go inside of Ralph's, get some chips, use the bathroom, get some water, and then we would leave and go sit at the park for the rest of the day and just be on our phones, walk around the park. We had little vape pens and stuff, because it's Cali, so you can smoke and shit. Well, you're not really supposed to smoke in public, but that's another story. Yeah, so that's how our days were pretty much going in Cali. If we didn't have a hotel, we would wake up, go in Ralph's, use the bathroom, get some chips, get some water, go to the park, chill at the park all day, be on our phones, walk around, play card games, Uno and stuff like that. Or we would go to the beach, take a nap on the beach. Like, we was just finding stuff to do, really. Like, we was really just finding stuff to do. Like, we was out in Cali just thugging it. And I feel like if you can survive Cali in any way, it don't matter if you're surviving that shit homeless, sleeping in your car, if you're surviving that shit, you got a little studio paying $900 a month. Like, if you're surviving Cali, LA, bruh, like, you can survive anywhere. Like, you can survive anywhere. If you can live in Los Angeles, you can live anywhere, bruh. That's just how I feel. You can live anywhere. Like, Cali, at the time, we were probably like real mad and angry. Like, okay, let me not skip around. So yeah, that's pretty much how our days were going in Cali. And we was out in Cali, y'all, from like May 9th, May 8th, all the way up until like the end of August, beginning of September is when we finally left Cali. We left Cali a day before his birthday, and came back home. We really could have been left Cali. We really didn't have to stay as long as we did. We really didn't have to endure none of the shit that we went through. But us two together, like, we're very stubborn. We're like like, I feel like my boyfriend now is like my twin flame. Like, we're like mirrors of each other. And I've learned so much in this relationship than I've learned in any other relationship, any friendship, any other situation. Like, the past 2 years with this guy has been the most life-changing, eye-opening thing. Like, I would have never came to the point of having a spiritual awakening have I not been with this guy, and have we not went through a lot of the stuff that we went through. So yeah, so we was out in Cali sleeping in our car and stuff like that. We was barely eating. Like I said, the taco guy would come sit up around 6 o'clock, so that's when we would leave the park, go get like 2 or 3 tacos or whatever, and that would be, we'll be done eating after that, and we'll just sit in the car in the Ralph's parking lot until we fell asleep. Um, yeah, at that time, like, y'all, I think he was angry, I was angry, not with each other, with everybody else, with the world. Like, we just wanted to be away from everybody. And I think that's why we stayed in Cali for so long, and I think that's why we were able to handle and endure as much as we did, because we were just tired of everyone else's bullshit. So us being in the car and only having each other, it was kind of peaceful. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. I mean, it's not the best situation to be sleeping in your car and in and out of hotels for 3 or 4 months, but I don't regret it. I wouldn't take it back. And if I had to do it all over again, looking at the outcome, I would do it all over again. No questions asked. I would do it all over again. Like, I feel like that was one of the best and worst. Well, I don't even want to say worst, but that was one of the best experiences of my life. People would probably look at it like it should be one of the worst experiences of my life. People probably looking at it like, bitch, y'all stupid, or haha, y'all went to Cali and y'all was homeless the whole time. Da 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 da. Like, I enjoyed the experience, and I know that anybody that has shit to talk about it is only because they're scared. They're not brave. They don't have the mind, the mentality. They're not mentally strong enough to endure half the shit that I've done. So for anyone that has anything to say about any situation, like, I just laugh at it, because it's like, bitch, I did that shit. We survived Cali, y'all. I did that shit. But anyways, so yeah, like I said, we were both like angry with everybody else. And when I tell y'all, this relationship has allowed both of us to, and I'm not just speaking for him. Me and him have talked about this like plenty of times, but he hasn't made it home from work yet. Yeah, this relationship has, and all the things that we've went through, has it allowed us to experience every single emotion there is to experience at its highest and at its lowest. And this is honestly like the best relationship I've been in so far. It changed me a lot. I'm no longer in the third dimension. Neither one of us are stuck in the matrix, and we see things for what they really are. So that's why I say, like, for anybody that has anything negative to say about what I'm saying or about my situation that I went through a year ago, yeah, we're back in Tennessee now. Like, everything's good, so that's why I'm making this video. But everything's cool now. But anybody that has anything to say about anything that happened in the past, like, bitch, I'm just gonna laugh at you and look at you like you're stupid, because, bitch, you're really, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss. But it's like, you're really the one that's lost. I'm not lost. I see things for what they really are. And the only reason someone would have something to say about that is because they're scared. Is because they project how they feel or what they would have done onto me. And I've dealt with that like majority of my life. Like, even with close family, like, they project how they would have felt or what they would have done onto me. And because I don't feel the same way they feel about my situation, or I don't feel the way they think I should be feeling about my situation, makes them mad. And I'm like, how can you get mad at me about my situation that you're not going through? Yeah, like, y'all, when I say, like, I was just in a very, oh, and then if we even go back, I'm sorry, I skipped a little bit. If we go back to the beginning of 2018, y'all, And a little bit of 2017, like I was in and out of depression. Like my mood swings, my emotions were all over the place. There was points where I was like very suicidal. Nobody knows that, not even my boyfriend. Um, yeah, he really. I feel like this relationship really saved me, because if it wasn't for him, like where would I be? Would I have committed suicide? Because I didn't have any friends at the time. They wasn't for me the way I thought that they would have been. My mom was gone. My dad. I mean, my dad was still around, but I don't know. I don't know. I just felt like this relationship has really opened me up to a lot, exposed me to a lot about myself, shown me a lot about myself and who I am, my strengths, my weaknesses, and stuff like that. And like the dark night of the soul, y'all, like it's a very real thing. But I feel like if I can get through it, I'm not like, you just have to be strong. And believe me, if you're going through the dark night of the soul, or if you're going through like a very dark point in your life right now, you wouldn't be going through that if you couldn't handle it. You would not be going through it if you couldn't handle it. Looking back on like the friends I had in the past and stuff, the reason they don't deal with half of the shit that I've dealt with, or been half of the places I've been, is because they can't handle it. Their soul wouldn't be able to handle it. Their mind wouldn't be able to handle it. Their emotions wouldn't wouldn't be where mine are. Like, if you're going through a dark time, it is for a reason, and I promise you there is light on the other side. Like, you just have to have faith in yourself, and you have to like truly 100% believe that things are going to get better, y'all. Every night sleeping in that